Alright, I'm back. Episode, I think it's 14. It might be 13. I don't even know anymore. But of my Wixo series, as you can see, there's some squiggly lines drawn on the map. I'm gonna be getting to those right now. If you like this video, like the video. I don't. But we're gonna be seeing all of the northern areas in Asia get fully, I guess, taken by the powers of the region. So this includes these islands over here. Over here, this lavenderish country will get this land, this sliver. Estonia got this chunk, but they'll also be getting this piece of land over here. While this green team, this Mongolian Siberian team, will be getting all of that and all of that, and then they'll also get all of these islands here too. So they're definitely pretty big. And then as for the blue North Chinese team, they'll get the rest of this stuff. Makes sense. They're doing pretty good in this area, but that's it for North Asia. So as you can see, all of this, besides these islands here, actually I could probably just... As for North Asia, all of this is filled in by the countries. Also, in a previous video, I think I said that the time period was like the year 200. I was way off. I did a little research. I'm gonna say the year here is like 1200, sometime like that. I don't really know. I'm off my gourd, apparently, when it comes to time. But anyways, here we have Africa. I'll explain what all this is in a second. But this South African team will be expanding this much. The punt team will be expanding their exclave in South Africa that much. And then the Tanzanian team will be going ahead and taking this much land. Up here in the north, these guys will take all of this. And as for these guys, they won't be expanding at all because a new country will be forming in the south part of their state. They'll be losing all of their southern portion over these guys, so that's unfortunate. I'll give them a capital later. Same with South Africa here. I forgot to give them one. And then over here we're gonna see these guys get going. They're real now, guys. And then this country over here will also be establishing itself right here. Except they're a little bigger. They like expand pretty quickly. So this is what that looks like for now. And then this is the other country that forms, kind of Angola, and they're gonna just take over all of this. So Africa is now completely filled in, as well as Asia. So that's pretty cool. But we're gonna go over here to Oceania, where some conflict is brewing up, starting off with this Borneo country that establishes itself. But they don't just do that, they completely kick the South China country out of Borneo, and then they take over this island. And that's because these guys are basically capitulating. They are not doing good, and this all stems from a union. Their government opts to unite with these guys up here in central China. However, basically everybody in like the Vietnam area and their colonies over in like Taiwan and the Philippines, they don't like that at all. So what we see happen is like the core territory over here opts to join these guys and everybody else is like, nuh-uh, we don't want to. And we will see kind of, I guess, a civil war breakout. Over here, Cambodia will try to, like, I was fumbling there. These guys in the south part of the Vietnam area will opt to join Cambodia, and the ones in the north will opt to join the giant Burma, Thailand country, Siam. As for these other areas, it's kind of tricky. I'm going to say that this Chinese central country just goes ahead and wipes out everyone over here and here. The Philippines, meanwhile, will be fully occupied by this green Borneo country. In fact, they'll also go in and occupy the rest of the Philippine archipelago. So that's pretty nice. We'll even give them this island over here. I don't know what it's called. I feel like I should, but I do not. But they'll occupy some islands. And then over here, we see this country kind of do something similar to the Borneo country, and they're going to completely take control of this island. I still don't know what it's called. I'm just gonna call it Jakarta. Oh no, wait, this is Java, right? Wait, so this is Borneo. This is Sumatra, and then this is Java, I think. I might be wrong. I'm pretty sure that's it. I don't know. I don't know that area as well as I should. But as you can see, there's a couple other dots on the map that we have to address. India is being hit hard by the Dark Ages, and they're gonna be kind of falling apart a little bit. Starting in Sri Lanka, a rebellion occurs in their southern portion, and soon this rebellion just expands massively. That's not English, but whatever. They quickly get out of hand, and India can't really contain them, so they're just kind of forced to let them be independent. So now we have Southeast India. But that's not the only one, because over here in the north, we will see another very similar revolution happening. This one's in a large populated area, so India will try to fight back, but to no avail. These guys are independent. In fact, I feel like they're pretty big. And over here in the west part of their country, basically the entire mountain area just breaks away with this like very like slime. This isn't really slime green, I don't know what color. Aged copper green, something like that. But now we see India is in a pretty badly battered state, and I kind of don't like the way there's like these two exclaves over here, so I'm actually going to fix that a little bit. I'm going to have this country occupy a little farther this way, and then I'll have them also expand this way. So 3 pretty sizable countries pop out of India. They're not doing so hot. Over here in China, we'll see something similar, as basically all of their more rural western portions decide to break away and form their own country over here. So that's not good for them. They're still doing all right though. I mean, they got a bunch of Siberian resources they can take and funnel, because most of their like economies over here in North China and Korea, and maybe a little bit in like East Manchuria and Sakhalin and North Japan. But that's going to do it for, I think, Central Asia. And then I feel like I'm missing something. Is that it? I think that's everything. I think that's everything. Okay, now we can get into the innovative parts of the video. Parts that I didn't plan out. So over here in Scotland, we're going to see them fully finish occupying Iceland. So that's pretty cool. They're one step closer to discovering this giant continent out here. Actually, I just want to check something real quick. On my video, oh hey, it's me. On my video, I think you guys can see like stuff that happens, but it's more east shifted, I think. Yeah, okay, well, whatever. Quick note on that. Over here in Central Europe, we're going to see the Olympian and Anatolian ways kind of crumble, more so the Olympian ways. This Sparta movement, it's getting very, very popular in their homeland. So popular, in fact, that large chunks of their western areas, because there's like mountains that run through here, large chunks of the west side of their country are going to defect to Sparta. So something like this. And eventually the movement spreads around the mountains completely, and basically all of this peninsula begins to fall over to Spartan influence. And then they establish themselves as a new country and basically go, surrender over to us or we will invade you. Obviously Olympia is not going to they're going to get invaded. Sparta moves in and occupies Athens, then moves into the Aegean Sea and occupies all of their islands. Eventually they kind of set up a bit of a wall up here north of the mountains, and they begin moving towards Thessaloniki, but it looks like someone has other plans. These guys immediately at like top speed begin racing across the edge of the Aegean Sea. They capture Thessaloniki and they kind of just begin securing inland areas. They sign a deal with Sparta that looks something like this. So we'll draw up the treaty. Where's my color tool? Oh, here it is. So we're gonna see the deal look something like this. The Olympians are gonna get carved up here. And actually I don't think it'd be this bad. We'll see north parts of Olympia stay as like their own thing. Up here in the north, that's where the mainland Olympians kind of get evicted to, and the rest of their territory will be divided up between the former country of Thessaloniki that's about to become the actual country of Thessaloniki. So let's get to that now. The Spartans take care of this, and the Neo-Thessalonikians take that, and just like that, they're a thing again. They're a competent power in Europe. They're doing very well. They're probably like about as strong as Sparta in my mind. When all this is brought about by the mess of the mess caused by their war with Anatolia. Anatolia, meanwhile, they're going to have a new country, a brand new country, emerge from them in their eastern half. What this country is called exactly, I don't know. I'm gonna call them... Well, I guess this is like Dagestan, right? Or is that a different area? I think I'm right. I don't know. East Turkey, East Anatolia. That's what I'm going to call it. Meanwhile, Rhodes will have more parts of the unstable Anatolian land kind of defect to them. And soon it's becoming apparent that Anatolia is not doing so hot. They're pretty weak. In fact, most countries are kind of getting pretty weak, but that'll happen when you enter the Dark Ages. So Over here in Iberia, we will see this like Catalonian country unite with Central Iberia. They will move their capital over to. Actually, you know what? No, they're gonna build a whole new capital city to celebrate their monumental unification. They're gonna put it right here, and then they're gonna. These two obviously still exist, but this is the new capital of the Iberian country. So that happens across Europe. Things are still doing bad, and I mentioned before how these guys were doing terrible when they had all this land, but even down to a fundamental level, they aren't functioning, and so they're gonna fall into basically anarchy, and their neighbors are gonna do the thing and invade them. So the first one to move is the very quickly growing into like a top 10 power Thessaloniki Thrice country, the red country. They're gonna move on in and capture all the lands over here in the west side of the country. They'll quickly take all that while this Austria-Hungary abomination moves in to take a little bit of land. They can't take that much land because they're kind of weak, but they try. And then most notably, the new Caucasia is going to move on in, and they'll be one of the fastest invaders. They'll bounce over here into Crimea and completely take the like southeast part of the area. Meanwhile, Thessaloniki will do everything they can to capture the capital, and they eventually will. They'll secure all of this and all that before kind of slowing their onslaught to make sure they stay nice and stable. While whoa, wait, what happened? The color's different. Whoa, what happened? Ugh. No. Okay, I think the color messed up, but that's fine. No way. Okay, no, we'll fix that in a minute, but these guys will occupy like all the east side of this country. Everything up to here will be occupied by the Caucasia country, and then the rest of this would be... Actually, Estonia's getting pretty big. We'll have Austria-Hungary take care of all of this land. And just like that, the country that was here, the North Black Sea country, is no more. Let me try to fix whatever problem happened with the color gradient in Crimea. I think it's as simple as doing this. Yeah, okay, wait. Yeah, okay, that fixed it. We're good. So now, the borders in this area look like this. These guys kind of look really weird with this exclave, but whatever. I'll deal with that later. Capitals. I don't think I put down capitals for some countries, so let's do that now. The banished Olympians will be putting their capital right here. There we go. In Anatolia, this eastern country will put their capital right here. Actually, I feel like it'd be in the Black Sea. We'll put it like right there, but on the border of Anatolia. Down here in Africa, there's a couple countries here that don't have capitals, including these guys. Whoa. What happened? Okay. These guys will put their capital right here. Angola will put their capital right there. South Africa will put their capital like right here where Cape Town is. I think that's where Cape Town is. It's like somewhere in this area. We'll put it right there. This new country, Botswana, I guess, will be put their capital there. And then this like long Zimbabwe country will put their capital right there. Alright, doing good. I think that's every country in Africa. Oh, the Arabian country from Punt. They don't have a capital. Their capital will be right there along the Red Sea. Am I missing anybody else? I am still missing people. The East Caucasia rebellions, there's a capital. It'll be right here. You could barely see that, but it's right where my cursor is. If you can see that, actually. I don't know if you can. It's like right above the water. Like this left lake right here, it's like right above it, vertically. And then this country over here's capital will be like, it'll actually also be kind of above. It'll be right there. As for the, wait, I feel like I missed something. Yeah, whatever. Over here in East Asia, where a bunch of countries appeared, we'll see Japan put their capital right here where Tokyo is in real life, I think that's where Tokyo is. Pretty sure that's where Tokyo is. And then this small country will put their capital right there. Kind of hard to see too. Over here, the west North China country will put their capital right here. Tibet, I think, has a capital. Actually, no, they don't. Okay, put it right here, right in the middle of, or maybe they won't. They'll put it right. We'll put it right there. This country will put their capital right here. These guys will put their capital right here. And then this, like, Afghanistan-ish country will put their capital right over here. Alright, I think that's, actually, no, that's not even everyone. Over here in Green Borneo, their capital will be, where do we think it should be? I'm gonna put it right here, where, yeah, I'll put it right, or do I want to put it in the Philippines? No, I'm gonna put it in the South Island of the Philippines, like right there. Perfect. In Java, it'll be right where Jakarta is. And then Sumatra is currently controlled by India. We'll see how long that lasts, because it's kind of hard to get to them. And they did just have 3 rebellions, so. Spoiler, they're probably not going to last much longer. In fact, you know what? I'm going to do that now. These guys will get independence. And will, as soon as I find a color, they will be forming their own country. They will be the island of Sumatra. They're like key lime colored here. And as soon as I click the capital, that's too big. The capital will be right here in the south part of the island, so pretty good. Whew. It'll be a while before they get to Australia. But now, to sort of come to the end of this video, we will have a bit of, not instability, because this is pretty amicable in terms of relinquishing of land, but the Rome will decide that after some complaints about the rule in this area of Africa, to opt to let them rule themselves, to give them independence. They'll do that. All of this, like, West Africa land will be given full independence. They'll be allies, of course, because the relations are still friendly, but these guys, they're given independence. Their capital will be right here in Senegal. So that's pretty cool. Rome loses a bit of their foothold in, like, super southwest Africa, but that's fine. Again, Rome still has the biggest sphere of influence of maybe anybody on the world map right now. They have lands in Iberia, up into deep into the Italian peninsula, all of North Africa. They're doing pretty good. And to show this, they are gonna attack their neighbor over here, this French country. will be getting just rapidly invaded. They are occupied fully. However, I don't know why I just said they're occupied fully. They're not going to be occupied fully. They're going to be mostly occupied fully. However, they will retain this much of their land. They're basically becoming like a Luxembourg-style city-state over here. But they are damn near occupied. Like that. Perfect, okay. And just like that, they are part of the Romans. So they're doing pretty good. They are doing good. And a similarly powerful neighbor of theirs will also be attacking a newly formed country. A country that formed this episode, too. They're going to be waltzing into East Anatolia. Oh, I colored the ocean. Where's my... Okay, there we go. They are not very nice. These guys barely existed for any long duration of time at all, but they're already moving in. And they make a deal with their neighbor, the Caspian country, for them to occupy some of the eastern areas of land. And they do just that. They take over all this, while Mesopotamia goes in and occupies all of this, now gaining coast along the Black Sea, which makes mainland Anatolia very mad. These two have beef. Anatolia, Mesopotamia, not good friends at all. However, Mesopotamia is very quickly having very good relations with this country, the Caspian country, so we'll see how that transpires. But with that, this is the end of this video. I think this one was definitely a shorter video, but there was a lot of things done, so I think it was a good video. Maybe. I don't know, that's up for you to decide, I guess. Please subscribe. That'd be nice. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.